Welcome to Life Group. Today we're going to look at the book of Judges. I've been reading this last week and into this following week. Interestingly, the book of Judges begins right at the end of Joshua, at his death, and then up unto the rise of the monarchy, where we talk about prophets and the kings, Saul and David, Solomon, etc. It's an interesting period of time that looks at people that God would raise up. There would be a time of apostasy, a time of falling away from God. And then God would raise a man or a woman, in this case, raise a man or a woman up to defeat pagan armies. And it was this cyclic thing that happens. There were essentially 12 judges, 6 that were considered major judges and 6 considered minor judges. Shamgar, for example, mentioned, rose up, killed a lot of people, there was peace in the land. That's it. Others, a far deeper story. And that's what I want to look at today, some of the major judges. What's going to make today's Life Group interesting, I hope a little interesting, is that I'm going to just give a quick overview, and then I want you to be the preacher. I want you, each one in your group, to see what falls out for you. I'm not going to answer that question. I'm just going to present the question. I'm going to present some of these dynamics within the book of Judges. And I'm very interested to hear what kinds of things fall out for you if you are going to be the preacher. The book of Judges has a prologue and an epilogue, essentially an introduction and a conclusion, several chapters each. But the major central theme wraps around 6 judges. Now the central, instead of going 1 through 6, I'm going to start at the center and work out. The central character of the book of Judges is a man named Gideon. And Gideon was Moses-like. He was the ideal judge. Gideon had a son named Abimelech. Now, Abimelech is not actually even counted within the 12 judges within the book. If you wanted to add him as a 13th, I guess you could. I don't think he's counted because he caused himself to come to power, not so much God raising him up. He usurped authority and murdered his brothers. He's the anti-judge, somewhat like the Antichrist. If Gideon is the ideal judge, then Abimelech would certainly be the anti-judge. So Gideon is in chapters 6, 7, and 8. Abimelech is in chapter 9. Now, from these two central figures, this father and this son, the antithesis of these two characters, they are bookended on either side by Deborah. Gideon is bookended by Deborah, and Abimelech is bookended by Jephthah. Now, these two characters, very, very interesting. First of all, Deborah is a woman. God raised up a woman, considering this culture, and even our own American culture not too many decades ago, is amazing. God raises Deborah, so she's a woman that's a judge. Jephthah, on the other hand, is an illegitimate son. He is an outcast, a social outcast of the community. So we have this father, ideal judge, the son, the anti-judge, bookended by 2 social outcasts, Deborah and also Jephthah. And then from these 4, the final bookends would be Othniel and Samson. These were lone warriors. Othniel on the one side, Samson on the other. When we look at these individuals that rise up, a woman, a social outcast, raised up, a father and a wayward son raised up. What do you see in that? If these are the characters, these 6 characters are the ones that are presented to us to consider as major judges, what grabs you? Now, one last thing I want to bring up. I said there's a prologue and an epilogue. In the epilogue, it talks about the essential destruction of 2 of the tribes. One of the tribes was Dan, the tribe of Dan. The other, the tribe of Benjamin. And you can read this in chapters 19, 20, and 21. But of these 2 tribes, and they almost got kicked out, and they were defending the loyalty of blood over the loyalty to God. They were defending sin and apostasy, serious wayward living. Of these two, it's important to know that Ehud was raised up from the tribe of Dan. You know what I said? I need to correct myself. I said Othniel was the forward bookend. That's not true. It's Ehud. Othniel's the first judge, but Ehud was the one that I'm talking about. So we have Gideon and Abimelech. We have Deborah and Jephthah, the outcasts. And then, although Othniel acted alone as well, we have Ehud and Samson. Ehud and Samson. So let me give you the order 1 through 6. It'll be on your papers. Ehud, Deborah, Gideon, Abimelech, Jephthah, and Samson. Again, Ehud, lone warrior, Deborah, woman, Gideon, ideal judge, Abimelech, anti-judge, Jephthah, social outcast, and Samson, lone warrior as well. So, I'm sorry that I misspoke Othniel. If we're looking at Ehud and Samson, Ehud came from the tribe of Dan. And I just said that in the epilogue, Dan is the one that was so wicked they were almost kicked out of Israel. Samson came from the tribe of Benjamin. Again, Benjamin in the epilogue, so wicked that they almost were removed from their tribal territory. So there's something here as well. These tribes where it was so sinful and so wicked and so anti-God, these were the tribes from which God raised up an Ehud, Dan, and raised up a Samson out of the tribe of Benjamin. I would like you to look at these two things. The fact that of these sinful tribes, those were the ones chosen that God raised up a deliverer. They were single men, lone warriors. And also the list of the 6. Why those were listed that way? Possibly you're just going to say, oh, accidental. It feels more than that to me. It may be coincidental, but it feels like there's more than that there for me. So looking at the ends, lone warrior, woman, social outcast, illegitimate son, social outcast, and then this father, ideal judge, and his son, the anti-judge. I'd like for you to look at those, consider those two, process that with yourselves in the group, and let's see what comes out. I'd love for God to give some insights. I pray that that would happen, that God would give some insights to each of you. I am not the oracle of God, and all things do not come through me. So I would love to hear it. Maybe we could put it on Facebook. You could post. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/Christ Community. So if you could go to the discussions tab and maybe put your thoughts on there. Let's crank up a discussion this week and see what's there. I really believe that something is there, something strong. I pray that you're blessed this week. I pray you find this discussion and these readings a blessing as well. Grace and peace to you. Know that I love you.